Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be alpha female. So this is a really interesting email that I got. This is from a woman, and she is actually the girlfriend of a guy who I did a video I think it was in the past year sometime, called I Brought Back My Alpha. And what's really cool is that she shares how both of them have done a lot of work on themselves, and also the fact that the transformation that her boyfriend had gone to, that if he had to come across my work and become the guy that he is today, she doesn't think that they would have ended up together. So it's a really interesting perspective from a woman who considers herself an alpha female. And obviously her boyfriend wrote about in his, again, the newsletter title, I Brought Back My Alpha, describing his alpha female and how they were attracted to one another. And so this is a great email for those of you guys that are really high income, high net worth, high achieving type of dudes, and you want a woman that is an equal, that can be great in her career and whatever she does for a living and successful at it, and she's passionate about it, but she can also be submissive enough and feminine enough to where you're not totally butting heads all the time. So I got a quote that I wrote, and then we're going to go through her email. And the quote says, an alpha female is beautiful, confident, successful, takes care of herself, and is used to leading in all areas of her personal and professional life. She's not going to tolerate half-ass effort, weakness, shy, or timid men. She knows her worth, wants a true equal, and will not settle for less than she knows she deserves. She has her choice with men, and wants a man who has choice with women. The only way to attract an alpha female is to be at the top of your game in all areas of your personal and professional life. Not being intimidated by her beauty and sex appeal, confidence, and to continually pass her tests of your strength to demonstrate through your example that you are worthy. Only then will you exude the vibe and certainty that will make her feel safe and comfortable enough to willingly submit to your leadership of the relationship. Now, not all women that are alpha females are capable of being submissive. There are plenty of women that are very successful, and they have a hard time moving out of their masculine energy and into their feminine energy, and so you're constantly fighting with them over control of the relationship. So just because a woman is beautiful and really successful doesn't mean that she's got her shit together enough to where she's going to be comfortable submitting and letting another guy lead the relationship. This is why dating, I often equate it to like test driving a car. So many people are in such a fucking rush to get a marriage, to get into a marriage, or to no longer be single, that they compromise their values and their choices because they become impatient. Maybe it's through peer pressure or societal pressure, but all of us have pressure to conform to the way the people around us think we should be. It's not easy to live your own truth and speak your own truth and embody that in the world because everybody seems to think they know better at how you should live. And remember, the people that we're surrounded by, if they're able to get us to be more like them, then that justifies and validates their lifestyle choices. And so it's really important that the people you surround yourself with support you and always have a positive word for you, and they're always optimistic and they always believe in you. And when you're having doubts or something's not going well in your life, they're saying, dude, you can get through it. You always figure things out. You're always an eternal optimist. You'll always figure it out. But if you got people in your life that don't think that way, when you go through a difficult time, they're going, yeah, well, I don't know about that idea, or I don't know about that person. I don't know about the way you're living. I wouldn't live that way. It's hard enough to do the things you want to do in life without having people in your inner circle sabotaging you and trying to sandbag your success. I talk about that extensively in my second book, Mastering Yourself, which you can read for free on my website by subscribing to the newsletter. You can also get the audio version of that and my first book, 3% Man, if you go to my website, understandingrelationships.com, there are links there that will take you to Audible so you can actually get both of those audiobooks for free if you're so inclined. Or if you're new and you haven't seen many videos and you're kind of skeptical and you're going, what's this fucking dude with the shaved head? What's he going to fucking teach me? Well, go to my website, read it for free, apply what's in there, read the books 10 to 15 times, and once you see that it works, then go ahead and make a purchase. You get to try before you buy. Who else out there does that? Most people are too scared to give their book away for free because it's not good enough and people wouldn't come back and buy it. I believe in what I teach and I embody it. I've been living this my whole life that I give it away for free because I know people are going to be grateful and they'll come back and I'll get compensated later for it. So let's go through her email. She says, Dear Corey Wayne, at this point, I am not sure if I should thank you or hire you as a coach myself. I've been meaning to write you for a while now as my new partner has shared your work with me. I get asked that question a lot. A lot of guys are like, once they get into a relationship, what do you think? Should I hide your book from her? Should, meaning 3% Man, should I hide it from her? And it's like, absolutely not. If you're in a relationship, especially the latter third of the book, which is all relationship topics, those are great things for the two of you to read together because it will help you both. She continues on, my new partner shared your work with me, and he speaks super highly of the ways you have helped him become the man he is today. He is the one you did a video on called I Brought Back My Alpha. I'm the alpha female he talks about winning over. That was a great success story, and he was one of those guys that reads a book 10 to 15 times, and that's why he tends to have the best success stories. That's the thing that's interesting about successful people. Successful people, they just find a way to do what's necessary. They stick with things way longer than the average person does because most people are extremely impatient. And when they don't get the results they want in a matter of weeks, sometimes days or months, they just fucking quit and they give up. And that's just the worst thing you can do because achieving anything in life, whether it's getting into shape, losing weight, building a business from scratch, climbing the corporate ladder in your career, becoming really great in the dating world and relationship world, and being able to attract the best quality people, it's going to take time and repetition. I mean, the reality is you're not going to read a book like mine and then the next day go out there and start dating multimillionaire supermodels and really successful women that have their shit together if you haven't been able to hold down a steady job. It's a type of thing where it's a lifestyle change. It's a mindset change. And just like working out at a gym takes time and repetition, becoming competent at my books and what I teach takes time and repetition. That's why I say read them 10 to 15 times. Because when you read them 10 to 15 times, you understand the philosophy and the fundamentals. Guys that don't do that, that are just trying to cherry pick information from videos or take shortcuts, they become robotic and everything becomes, it's like a chess match. So everything is like a game of manipulation because they don't understand the philosophy because they were too lazy to take the time. Success takes a long time. It's not an overnight thing. If you're building a business or building a great career from scratch, you got to understand it. You're looking at a minimum of a decade to really make it exceptional and for things to really take off. If you look at any great success story, whether it's Zuckerberg or Steve Jobs or Bill Gates, there was a minimum of a decade before they got to the point where they had the kind of success where everybody noticed their success, and we all obviously know who they are and they're household names now. So you got to put the time in. There are no shortcuts to success. If you're just trying to cherry pick information from the videos, you'll get better. It'll help. But if you want to have the kind of success that this woman and her boyfriend are having, you have to embody it. You have to apply it every day. It's a mindset. It's a way of thinking. It's a way of being. It's a way of showing up. Because each time you apply a little bit more and you see that it works, it builds your confidence a little bit more. But it's a process that you have to go through every day. Remember, success is a process. In order to feel successful, you got to feel like you're making progress. And so you want to be able to notice the little things that are starting to work and starting to get better in your life and build upon it. Because the reality is 99% of the people that we're all going to encounter in life are just simply not willing to do that. They've settled, they've given up, and they've quit on their dreams. Quitting is easy. Giving up is easy. But when you look at people, because we all know them, who have quit and given up in whatever area of their life they really need to be focusing on, the results suck. And at some point in life, you're not going to be here anymore. You have a limited amount of time in this earth. So it doesn't make sense to spend your time working every day to get a little better than you were the day before. Go to the gym a little bit more, eat a little healthier, spend a little bit more time with the kind of people that you want. If you're not good at approaching women, or you're just scared to talk to people in general, just starting conversations with strangers in an elevator or people that you encounter on the street is going to help you get a little bit better. If your job sucks, you might have to apply to 50 different places or 100 different places. And each time you go on a job interview, each time you start talking to the receptionist at a new potential employer, you're going to get better on the phone. It's not like you make 1 or 2 phone calls, or you go out on 1 or 2 dates, or you go to 1 or 2 interviews, or you go to the gym once or twice, or you eat 1 or 2 healthy meals, and everything is solved. It takes time, repetition, dedication, and years of practice and repetition. She says, if I would have met him before he read your book and watched your videos, I'm not sure if we would have ever ended up together. The timing of our relationship was pretty perfect, as he described in his original letter. Now, this is important. Both of us were finally balanced in our own lives and were ready to take on a fulfilling relationship. I truly believe he, as I, and I were meant to be together. Remember, like attracts like. People who like the same things tend to like each other. She was already in her own life, in her own way, working on preparing herself and getting better, just like he was. And eventually the universe brought them both together, and so they were both prepared, and it happened. Remember, Confucius said, success depends upon prior preparation. And without said preparation, there is sure to be failure. So if you want something exceptional, if you want something great, you got to become great yourself. Not because you're doing it for somebody else, but you're doing it for yourself. Because great, successful, exceptional people have high standards. And therefore, they want somebody that's on the same level, or at least relatively close and willing to work their way up. Don't be a white knight who's trying to save everybody that you come across. Men and women both do it. They find somebody that's got a truckload of problems. They think, I'm going to fix them. I'm going to help them get a better job. I'm going to help them get in shape. I'm going to help them change their career. I'm going to help them overcome their bad family situation. I'm going to pay their bills for them. I'm going to help them get them out of debt. It's not the way to go about it. Because trying to fix somebody, a fixer-upper, if you will, they've got to be self-motivated. If somebody doesn't have a compelling reason, they don't give a fuck about taking care of their body, if they neglect themselves and they neglect their body, eventually they're going to neglect you. That's just reality. Before I met him, I did a lot of work on myself to be better independently. I was never amazing at relationships because most of the men I found were not relationship material. So I had no experience besides saying no to men who wanted to sleep with me. I was great at being independent and an alpha female on my own, but not inside of a relationship. That's another thing. As you become more successful and you attract better quality women and you become a better quality man, obviously, if you're a guy, the pool of women candidates that you're willing to go out and date is going to shrink. That's just reality, because you're just not willing to settle and not willing to put up with bullshit. Same thing with friends. I mean, I look at the point I'm at in my life, And my closest friends that have been with me for many years that I absolutely treasure and I adore and have been with me through thick and thin, when things were going great, when things were not going great, when things were going great again, they were always there. They always had a supportive word of encouragement. And those kind of people are really fucking rare, and they don't come along very often. I mean, think about it. How often do you meet a new best friend? It's not something that happens very often. Maybe once a decade, maybe once every 5 years, you meet somebody that really becomes a good friend, but somebody that's like a really solid friend that's going to be with you. I saw there was I think it was an article or a statistic that if somebody's in your life for 7 years, they'll typically be in your life forever. It's pretty interesting. But people that kind of come in and out of your life in just a few short years, you hardly ever see them again. And eventually they just kind of fade away. And I looked back at my own life after I read that, and I was like, that's pretty fucking accurate. So appreciate the people that have been with you for 7 years or longer, and that all, whether you're up or you're down, they're always giving you the thumbs up. They're always telling you that you can do it. Those people are really fucking special. And that's why the girlfriends that I've had in the past that I still keep in touch with and I occasionally see from time to time, they're really fucking amazing women. And ones that I dated in years past that weren't, I don't talk to them anymore. Life is too fucking short. At this point in my life, I just turned 49. I'm about to turn 49 years old here. At this point in my life, my objective in life is I want to enjoy it. And I want to continue to spend my time and the time that I have left on this earth doing things I love, doing things that I enjoy, and spending it with people I really fucking care about and who really care about me. That's why I invest so much money in having a really cool place with lots of things to do. I mean, you've seen in other videos that I've done in the past. I got dartboards and pinball machines and things of that nature, and because I want people to come over to my house and have a good time. That's why I have a full liquor bar. It's like I'm not much of a liquor drinker, but I love seeing my friends and my family come over and drink and have a good time, and always telling me that some of the best times they've ever had were with me. It's like, I fucking love that. I live for that. And because life's too short, man. Life's too short to hang out with miserable people who aren't adding value to your life. She says, both he and I are alphas in real life, and for both of us, this is our first real serious relationship. As you can imagine, two independent alphas want to be in charge. Absolutely. That's a double-edged sword. If you're a really successful guy and you want to date successful women, especially a woman who's an alpha female, she's used to getting her way with everybody. Most people submit and go along with what she wants. And if you want her to submit and go along with you, as long as she's normal and healthy, she will do that. But you got to have your fucking shit together. She ain't going to tolerate a pussy or a bitch-ass man who can't get his shit together. It took a lot for me to let down my ego and let him take leadership. I had no choice because he showed me how great of a leader he can be, and I find it super attractive that he takes control in the relationship. He makes me feel secure and more relaxed because I completely trust his plans and ideas he has for us. That's important. If you want a woman to trust your masculine core, you got to be congruent with the things that you say. You got to say what you mean, and you got to mean what you say. And if she gets a little flaky on you or tells you she's going to do something and then tries to not do it or make excuses, call her out on it. You got to check her on that. Don't be a fucking doormat. If you have high standards, you don't start tolerating low standards. If your life is a drama-free zone and somebody starts trying to bring drama into your life, you got to let them know that kind of, in a loving way, that kind of behavior is not appropriate. And quite frankly, not everybody is going to be able to do that. Some people are just fucking lunatics and messed up, and it's not your job to fix them or save them. You want teammates. You want equals in your life, not only with your lovers, but also your friends and your family and your peer group. If you start settling in one area of your life, it's going to spill over into other areas of your life, and it's going to get in the way and hinder you from reaching your full potential. He's done a lot of work on himself to be a better man, and because of this, he also pushes me hard to be better too. This is where I don't feel super secure because I'll be the first to admit that I am not an alpha at relationships. I like that. She's humble. Like Jocko Willink says, be humble or you will be humbled. In other words, she's got a weak spot in her life, and she's aware of it, and she talks about it freely and openly and admits it. And the first step to fixing anything in your life is to admit that you got a problem or something you need to pay more attention to or spend more time on working on or developing. Because most people don't want to acknowledge the problems they've got. They'd rather just ignore them. People do more to avoid pain than they'll do to gain pleasure. However, he makes me want to get on his level because I only want to build him up and not bring him down. Women that have a low self-esteem or women that have narcissistic tendencies, they build you up in the beginning, and then after a while, they're going to start constantly tearing you down, because people that tear you down to their level, they're trying to make themselves feel better by tearing you down. Don't fucking let them. Check them in a loving way, but if they don't stop, this is the importance of dating and not being in such a rush, because a lot of the phone sessions I do with guys, they're dating women that they really should not be dating, and they're trying to make up for a lot of problems that women are bringing to the table because they're attractive or they have fun together or the sex is amazing. And remember, we make our decisions based upon our emotions, and we use logic and reason to justify our decisions. So if you're emotionally wrapped up in someone or something, you'll bullshit yourself. You'll tell yourself that it's better than it really is, or that's not such a big deal. It's only once the infatuation wears off in the honeymoon period, 6 months, a year or so later, that you actually start to see things as they are. And by that point, you might be living together, you might be engaged, you might be pregnant. I mean, you got to really fucking pay attention. You got to exercise emotional self-control, because people can hide who they really are for about the first 90 days of a relationship. Remember that. We both keep in mind that we're on the same team and we can do anything together. I wish there were more women role models for relationships that I could learn from. What are the best unbiased resources for women in relationships? Well, as far as books go, there's just none that I would have seen that I would recommend. But if you want to follow some really successful, high-achieving alpha females that, I talk about this couple a lot, Tom Brady and Giselle. I mean, if you've ever seen videos, I mean, a great thing to watch is Tom versus Time. It's on Facebook. There's, 6 or 8 short videos. I think they're 15 to maybe 20 minutes max a piece. And what's really cool, if you're familiar with my book, 3% Man, you can see the things that I talk about. I mean, she's his biggest fan and biggest cheerleader. She's got the Patriots jersey on. She's jumping up and down, celebrating, excited. She's so proud of him. You see him driving the car together. She's always got a positive word of encouragement for him. You can do it, baby. I believe in you. He's the same way towards her, because she's very successful in her own right and has lots of businesses and things going on the side. She was already a multimillionaire when the two of them met. And so I follow them both, and when there's interviews, I always listen to the two of them, because I learned things from them at times. I think another couple that is a good one to watch is Victoria Beckham and David Beckham. I mean, they've been together for a long time. Both really good-looking people, very successful. They both are multimillionaires. They were successful in their own right. They got a tight family. I think they're good to watch, or just any interview, just listen to what they have to say. I know people are going to fucking bitch, but I think Melania Trump is also a good one to listen to. And Donald Trump is an alpha as well. They have a pretty good relationship. They've been together for 20-something years. I can hear all the haters go, fuck you, Corey. But she's a good woman to listen to. She's elegant. She's very supportive of her husband. She speaks her mind. She tells him what she thinks and lets the chip fall where they may. But at the end of the day, she's his fucking teammate. She's in his corner. And the reality is, she knew what he was like. I mean, at the end of the day, he was on a date with another woman when she approached him and got his phone numbers. So it's like, I can hear people going, well, but what about these other women? It's like, he's a fucking bad boy. He's not perfect, but she still loves him anyways. There's another couple I think is pretty good to watch. Jesse James Decker. She's married to Eric Decker. He was a wide receiver. I think they're pretty religious. They got a tight family. Like, family's really important to her. I've seen her in interviews, so she'd be a good woman for you to watch and pay attention and hear what she says. But they're great teammates too. And another couple that I think are great is Noelle and Matt Best. Noelle is beautiful. She's in great shape. She likes guns. She shoots a lot. Matt, her husband, retired Special Forces guy. He's got Black Rifle Coffee. And if you ever, they do a lot of stuff on Instagram. They post a lot of videos. And you can tell they have a great fucking time together. They work out together. They play together. They both act like kids, even though they're adults and they're successful and they have a successful business and they love shooting guns. I mean, they're type A, alpha male, alpha female, and they're a good couple to watch as well. So she continues on, thank you for all your time and all your future help. My man and I have a lot of growing to do together, but I truly believe he and I are meant to be. He treats me like gold, and I would do anything to make him happy. Thank you, Corey, for helping shape my boyfriend into the alpha man of my dreams, plus even more. Well, thanks for sharing that awesome success story. You get two awesome people right there. We've got his email success story, his perspective on why it worked, and now you got his girlfriend's perspective on why it works. So if you'd like to get my help personally, the quickest way is to go to my website, click the products tab at the top of your screen on any page on my website, and book a phone coaching or a Skype coaching session with yours truly. And again, you can get my book, How to Be a 3% Man, on my website, understandingrelationships.com, for free, as well as my book, Mastering Yourself, which is more career focused, quality of life, a lot of the health topics, things that people have asked me. And there's obviously a bunch of politics in there. You can see from the reviews. It's, if you tend to lean to the left or the far left, there's probably shit in there that's going to fucking piss you off. But there's a lot of great quality of life stuff in there, economics, how the banking and finance system works. So again, you can read all my books for free on my website, understandingrelationships.com, by subscribing to the newsletter. And if you want to get the audiobooks for those for free, go to understandingrelationships.com and just click the link that says get these for free. That'll take you right to Audible, so you can actually get, I think right now at the present time, this video is done anyways, you get two, with those links on my website, you'll get 2 free audiobooks. So you can actually get both of my books for free. Cost you fucking nothing. You got nothing to lose and everything to gain. Go and do it now. Understandingrelationships.com. And until then, I will talk to you soon.